We have some more NHL trades to discuss, including a big one. The big name on the trade bait board has finally been moved. The Ottawa Senators have traded Mark Stone to the Vegas Golden Knights. Plus, we also have another trade between the Minnesota Wild and the Nashville Predators. We'll get into all the latest coming up next. Welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. NHL Trade Deadline 2019 has certainly got a lot more interesting, with the biggest trade of the day, so far at least, and likely going to be for the day, with the Ottawa Senators and Vegas Golden Knights having trade deadline negotiations that came right down to the wire just minutes before the deadline has passed. They have come to an agreement to send Mark Stone to the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the return going to Ottawa is young prospect defenseman Erik Brannstrom, who was a standout for Sweden at the most recent World Junior Championships. He is an A-plus elite-level prospect, in my opinion. They also get forward Oscar Lindberg in a second-round pick that originally belonged to the Dallas Stars. Now, oftentimes leading up to the deadline, there was lots of talk and speculation that if Stone were to be moved, they might command multiple first-round picks or a first-round pick plus a prospect. But like many of the insiders have said, you got to look at quality over quantity here. And even though it might seem like a low return, I assure you, Erik Brannstrom is a terrific young defenseman. At times has drawn comparison to Erik Karlsson. So having guys like him and Shabbat on the back end here on the blue line for years to come should certainly be a big help in rebuilding this franchise. So overall, I do think this is a pretty good return, especially considering how late they waited to make this move. Now, for the Vegas Golden Knights, this is absolutely huge. Mark Stone is a big-time difference maker. He's an incredibly smart, very underrated forward. He has a great stick, great hand-eye coordination, very good offensively, great defensively as well. He is going to be an absolutely huge addition to this club heading into the playoffs. We already saw a big move earlier from the Winnipeg Jets. Now we see some moves here between Nashville and Minnesota, which we'll get into momentarily. And now Vegas has made their big move here in this so-called Western Conference arms race. I really don't think there's a ton of teams in the Western Conference that can really go deep into the playoffs that have that ability. But Vegas has certainly stepped up their game and become one of those teams to really reckon with here, as they're going to have to battle teams like Calgary and San Jose to try to get out of the Pacific Division and make their way deeper into the Western Conference playoffs, see if they can duplicate what they did last year. So a very big move by the Vegas Golden Knights and the Ottawa Senators with Stone going to Vegas. This is absolutely huge, especially for Vegas. Ottawa, this will be a good trade for them as well, but it will take longer term to really feel the effects from it. Brannstrom, though, is a terrific young prospect defenseman. Now, the other trade that we saw was the Nashville Predators and Minnesota Wild hooking up for a deal. Of course, Minnesota Wild GM Paul Fenton is the former assistant to GM of Nashville, David Poile. They have traded 1-for-1 Kevin Fiala going from Nashville over to Minnesota in exchange for Mikael Granlund. So that is the other trade here for the day. We thought that Nashville might make a bigger trade instead of a 1-for-1 trade. Instead of taking off the roster, maybe adding to it. Kevin Fiala has had a little bit of a challenging season, so it's not a complete shocker. His name has been out there a little bit that he's moved. So obviously when Granlund, they get a little bit more experience coming back. But of course the deadline, even though the time pretty much as I record this has passed, many trades get reported after the deadline goes. So we'll see if there's any more moves out of Nashville here, if they continue to bulk up for the remainder of the playoffs here. So I'm sure there very well could be some more last-minute trades that sneak in to get reported afterwards. So there likely will be one more video kind of recapping anything else that goes down here once everything comes through and gets reported. If you're new to the channel, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up before you go. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.